You know, when you look at all the stuff around you, have you ever stopped to think about the epic story hidden inside? Seriously, from the clothes you're wearing to the chair you're sitting on, so many things are made from materials with a secret origin story, a tale of science, innovation, and, well, synthetic superheroes. Okay, this sounds like the setup to a really weird joke, doesn't it? But for real, think about it. One is built to save your life if you fall out of a plane. The other is designed to save your teeth. What on earth could possibly connect those two things? Well, the answer is kind of wild. They are both built from the exact same thing, these microscopic, incredibly powerful chains that give them all their special abilities. And understanding these super chains is the secret to unlocking the entire world of synthetic materials. So let's get right into it and pull back the curtain on these powerful, unseen super chains. So, what are these superchains, scientifically speaking? Well, they're called polymers. And the name itself is a total giveaway. Poly is Greek for many, and mer means part. So a polymer is, quite literally, a long chain made of many repeating parts, all linked up together. Simple as that. To really get a picture of this in your head, think about it like this. Imagine a necklace, right? Each individual bead is what we call a monomer. String a whole bunch of them together, and voila, you've got a polymer. Or maybe even simpler, picture linking a bunch of paper clips together, one after another, to make one long chain. That's the basic idea we're talking about. For most of human history, we just use the polymers that nature handed to us. You know, stuff like the cellulose in cotton or the proteins in wool. And they were great. But scientists, they started dreaming bigger. They wanted to design their own polymers from the ground up to create brand new materials with specific, almost magical abilities. And that brings us to the main event. It's time to meet the first generation of these man-made marvels, our very own synthetic superhero squad. First up is rayon, also known as artificial silk. Now, rayon showed up towards the end of the 19th century, and it was the answer to a big problem. Real silk was super expensive. So what they did was take a natural material, wood pulp, and completely transform it with chemistry. It was a true master of disguise. Rayon's superpower was just how versatile it was. It was way cheaper than silk, but you could weave it just like it, and you could dye it in a ton of different colors. Plus, it was a great team player. It blended perfectly with natural fibers to make everything from super comfy bed sheets to really durable carpets. Okay, but next on the team is nylon, and wow, this one was a complete and total game changer. Created back in 1931, it was the world's first truly synthetic fiber. I mean, it was basically conjured out of thin air, well, out of coal, water, and air. No natural ingredients needed at all. It was pure chemical creation. So what was nylon's superpower? Just raw, unbelievable strength. And get this, a nylon thread is actually stronger than a steel wire of the same thickness. No joke. You combine that with it being light, elastic, and super easy to wash, and you've got a material that changed everything, from stockings to parachutes. And people went absolutely nuts for it. When nylon stockings first came out, it caused what people called nylon mania. Demand was so insane that women would literally wait in line for hours just to get a pair. It got so intense that when production was diverted for World War II, a massive black market for them popped up. That's the kind of impact this stuff had. Our final hero is one you definitely have in your closet right now. Polyester, the tidy technician. If nylon's superpower is strength, then polyester's is all about convenience and just neatness. Its whole signature move is resisting wrinkles. A polyester shirt just stays crisp, and it's incredibly easy to wash and dry. It's pretty much the perfect material for our busy modern lives. It also blends really well with other fibers, creating fabrics like polycot and polywool. And in another form, you probably know it as PET. Yep, it's what most of our plastic bottles are made of. But you know, just like in all the best superhero stories, our heroes' greatest strength, their incredible durability, their resistance to, well, everything, it also turned out to be the source of a massive unintended problem. The whole issue comes down to this one big word: non-biodegradable. And all that means is that natural processes, like the bacteria in the soil, they can't easily break these materials down. They were built to last. And well, they last a little too well. This table really puts the scale of the problem into perspective. A cotton cloth, gone in a few months, Wood might take a decade or so, but plastic bags, they stick around for years. And while this chart says several years, the truth is some plastics can hang around for hundreds of years, just piling up in our landfills and oceans. Now, it's also super important to know that not all plastics are created equal. They basically fall into two main families. Think of thermoplastics like chocolate. You can melt them down and reshape them over and over. That's why stuff like the polythene in plastic bottles can be recycled. But thermosetting plastics, they're more like a cake. Once you bake it, that's the shape it's in forever. It's why materials like the bakelite in your light switches can't be remelted down. But look, the story isn't over. These materials are incredibly useful, so we need a plan to handle them responsibly. The superhero squad needs a new group of heroes to help out, us. And lucky for us, we have a plan. And our superpower is the 5R principle. It's a simple but really powerful guide for all of us. First, we reduce the amount of plastic we use in the first place. Then we reuse items whenever we possibly can. We recycle what we can't reuse. We try to recover value from the waste. And finally, and this one might be the most important, we refuse single-use plastic when we really don't need it. All right, time for the final round, the Explainer's Challenge. Let's see how well we've really gotten to know the properties of our synthetic superheroes. First question for you. It's a blazing hot summer day. You're picking out a shirt. What's the move? Do you go for the natural cotton or a modern synthetic like polyester? The smart choice is definitely cotton. While synthetics are amazing in so many ways, they don't absorb moisture very well. So on a hot day, that just means sweat stays on your skin, which can feel pretty uncomfortable. Cotton, being a natural polymer, it actually breathes and absorbs sweat, which helps keep you a whole lot cooler. And for our final challenge, take a look at an electrical switch. We know it's made of plastic, right? But why specifically a thermosetting plastic? Think about what happens when electricity is flowing through that thing. It's a perfect example of choosing the right material with the right superpowers for exactly the right job.